Okay, so for the next part, let's just review. The sum of the interior angle measures. Well, first we need to know the number of sides, right? N is the number of sides. Then we know that the sum is going to equal 2 less than the side, so n minus 2, as in that's the number of triangles inside times 180, since the triangles add up, the angles in a triangle add up to 180. Now we also know it doesn't matter, so no matter n, the sum of the exterior angles, and the sum, we're talking about all of them, is always going to be 360 degrees. That's never going to change. Okay. The interior angle measure of a regular polygon, basically you do this formula and divide by n. So we call it, you can do it two ways. So S, which is the total of the interiors, divided by n, since regular means they're all congruent, which is basically taking that formula n minus 2 times 180 and divide by n. No, these don't cancel out, because if you distribute, you'd get 180n minus 360 over n. Just trust me, the only way you can divide out, you can't divide subtracting or addition, so you'd have to factor out n, and you can't. Just trust me. So that's this formula. The exterior angles of a regular polygon, well, if there's n sides, you just basically do 360 divided by n. And the number of sides of a regular polygon, well, let's come back to that. Okay. So first of all, what is the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a pentagon? Well, that means pentagon, the sides are 5, and the interior angles is this formula. So it's going to be 5 minus 2 times 180, or 3 times 180, which is 540. Sum means all of them. Well, go ahead and do number 2 on your own. Okay, what is the measure of each interior angle? Notice the difference. It doesn't say the sum of the interior angles. Well, since it's an octagon, regular octagon, all the sides and angles are congruent, and the number of sides is 8. So basically we do 8 minus 2 times 180, but then we're going to divide by 8 again. Well, that's just 6 times 180 divided by 8. So what is that? 1080 divided by 8. So each angle is 135 degrees. Okay. And then do number 4 on your own. Okay. So number 5, it says 5 angles of a hexagon measure these 5 angles. What is the measure of the 6th angle? Remember, a hexagon has 6 sides. Well, if they tell you 5 of them, then wouldn't you do 119 plus 129 plus 104 plus 139 plus 95 plus the last side, which I'm just going to call it as x, or not side, I'm sorry, last angle. But we need to know what's the total interior angle measure, right? Because if you're adding all the interior angles, we don't know what that is. So guess what? We have to use this formula to find the sum of all of them. So basically, just a little side note, you have to do, well, hexagon, I don't trust my brain, finals are, so 6. So if n equals 6, then the total interior angles is going to be 6 minus 2 times 180, or 4 times 180. Well, 400 plus 4, that's 320. What is that? I can't even think right now. 720. So we set it equal to 720. Add up all these angles. So that's basically, what is that? 500 586 plus x equals 720. Subtract 586. And then x, the last angle has to measure 134 degrees. Okay, so keep your calculators near. Okay, so number 6, it says the sum of the interior angles of a polygon is 1,620 degrees. Now notice they didn't tell us what n is, so we don't know what n is right now. But since the sum of the interior angles is 1,620, we can use this formula and basically plug in 1,620 for s. So 1,620 has to equal n minus 2 times 180. Instead of distributing 180, I'm going to divide by 180. I want to get rid of that 180. I don't even want to deal with multiplying. And since distribution is multiplication, I can divide to get rid of it before I distribute. And divide by 10, so I get rid of the zeros. And then I'm just going to punch in, well, what's 162 divided by 18? And then I get 9 equals n minus 2, and basically I just add 2 to both sides. So n equals 11. So basically there's 11 sides. We actually call that a 11gon. As the polygon, because there's no prefix for 11. If there is, I don't know it. Okay. So do number 7 similar to number 6. Now, number 8, what is the sum of the measures of the exterior angles in a nonagon? Well, if the sides are 9 for nonagon, remember when we talk about the exterior angles, it's the same. It doesn't matter. We don't even need this. So we don't need n. We already know it's going to be 360 degrees, full stop. Okay, because it doesn't matter. No matter what n is, it's 360. Okay, so what is the measure of each exterior angle of a regular 20gon? Well, since we know there's 20 sides, there's going to be 20 exterior angles. So we're going to take 360 and divide by 20. Well, 20 sides, not 20 degrees. So you divide by 10, and then 360 or 36 divided by 2 is 18. So what is the measure of each exterior angle? That's 18 degrees. Okay, so then let's look at number 10. If the exterior angle of a regular polygon measures 9 degrees, so that means we know the answer is 9 degrees from 360 degrees divided by some side, number of sides n. Well, remember what I said? You can set this up like a proportion equation, do your cross product. 1 times 360, so you get 360 equals 9n divided by 9, and you get n equals 40. So it's how many sides? It's 40 sides. Okay, and you'll do number 11 on your own. Now, for number 12, you got to be able to write the equation. Guess what? These are all interior angles. Remember that formula? S equals n minus 2 times 180. Well, we know n is 4 because there's 4 sides. We don't know what x is. So basically we just do 4 minus 2 times 180. That has to equal the sum of all of these. So it has to equal our 79 plus 55 plus 110. What is that? Okay. So 79 plus 55 plus 110. So that's 244. So basically it has to equal 244 plus x, because that's the fourth angle. 4 minus 2 is 2 times 180 equals the 244 plus x. So 2 times, that's 360 equals 244 plus x. So basically we subtract the 244, and then x has to equal 116. Okay. Now you're going to need to do number 13 Just make sure you count the sides when you're using this formula. Basically, it's the same thing for number 14, except you have expressions for each angle. So you're going to have to combine like terms. And same thing for number 15. You got to find x first and then plug it in to find the measure of angle B. Okay. So let's look at number 16. And you'll have problems on the homework like this, as well as finishing these on your own. So again, regular means all the sides and angles are congruent. We have to find x. Well, see this 10x plus 4, that's one of these angles. That's this angle right here. And if you count the sides, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So basically, we're going to do 10x plus 4 times 10 has to equal, well, the interior angle formula, the number of sides minus 2 times 180. Well, that's 8 times 180. And then if I distribute the 10, actually, I'm not even going to distribute that. I'd rather divide it. I'll show you that in a second. And then 8 times 180 is 1,440. So instead of distributing the 10, I'm going to divide by the 10 because then I can basically reduce it. So 10x plus 4 equals 144. Subtract 4. 10x equals 140. Divide by 10, or mental math. You find that x is 14. Now, the difference for number 17 is we know that the exterior angles have to equal 360. So basically, you're going to add all of these and set it equal to 360. Combine like terms and solve, but I'm going to have you do that on your own. So make sure you check the answer key and bring questions.